Do you have any reply to Mr. Gorbachev's contention that the foreign policy is taking?
This is an environmental briefing here, and we're concerned about the Alaska oil spill. But the answer is no. Let me simply say we're the United States of America. We're making a prudent review, and I will be ready to discuss that with the Soviets when we are ready. And so, and Mr. Gorbachev knows that there's no foot dragging going on, so I'm not concerned in the least. Now we go.
Okay. A number of local officials in Alaska, as well as Alaskan residents, have been complaining virtually since this spill took place for a greater federal role. I guess my question would be, why has it taken so long to reach this conclusion, and hasn't valuable time been lost during your deliberation?
Well, as you may recall, action started immediately. The big thing was to get the ship, stop the hemorrhaging, and get that ship moved. I immediately asked the head of the Coast Guard, the head of the Department of Transportation, and Bill Riley to go up there. They came back and upon sound advice, recommended that we not federalize, and let me be clear, we are not federalizing this operation. There is no demand from reasonable people to federalize this operation, and that is not going to be done. So what have we done? The flow was stopped, and let me be very clear, I give great credit, certainly in some of those that are working out there, volunteers, private side, local citizens, company, and everything else for stopping. But I also give great credit to the Coast Guard and to military assets that have already been used in moving equipment thousands of miles to get this stop the flow. And I'll tell you, a lot has been done. I've had a talk here with Bill Riley about protecting the hatcheries, and I don't want to make premature judgments on this, but it looks like the 5 hatcheries may have been saved. And now is that an overstatement? And now the cleanup phase comes, and it's the time when we can step up some activity. So something is going on. I'm not about to defend the status quo, but there is no desire on our part to federalize. We're not going to do it. And I think it's fair to point this out. I think the priorities were right. There is 4 times as much oil in that ship as spilled out of that ship. And it was important to stop, to be guarantee, even in rough elements up there, that no more escape. And so some things have happened. It was prudent to contain that spill. And so the process is going forward. Yeah, Brett.
Do you have a sense yet of how much this federal effort is going to cost? And will you try to recover from Exxon that amount?
As I said, Exxon is liable, and they will continue to be liable, and we don't at this point have a full assessment. Leslie?
Take them to court on that, sir?
Sir?
Does that mean you're going to follow up? You take them to court? Or
I think Exxon has assumed liability, and I'm not going to stand here and suggest otherwise.
Mr. President, Mr. Gorbachev today made another arms control gesture saying that he'll stop production of weapons-grade uranium and shut down 2 plutonium plants. What's your response or reaction?
I've given you my response. We'll be ready to react when we feel like reacting and when we have prudently made our reviews upon which to act. So,
what do you think of his proposal or his offer? Is this a big step forward?
I haven't seen it analyzed, Leslie, so I honestly can't tell you that I know the full significance. John?
I know you don't want to talk about it, but Senator Muskie, former Senator Muskie, who was a member of the Tower Commission, says he was not aware of this effort to involve the Hondurans or of your role. You have said this was available to the Tower Commission. Want to reply to that without prejudicing Oliver North?
No. Because I don't want to prejudice the trial, John. It would be imprudent for us to do that, and we're not going to do it. And I stand by my statement about the Iran-Contra committee. That's it.
Mr. President, the conventional wisdom is that an American president never has much to gain by getting personally involved in the Middle East. But I was thinking that maybe that you were an exception given your initial round this week. Can you tell us what's in your mind about the Middle East if you see yourself getting very personally involved over the course of your presidency and trying to solve this?
Look, if I felt that being immersed in it would help solve the problem of peace in the Middle East, I would do that. And I think you're right. There have been times when it appears that the president shouldn't be fully involved. But we've had 2 visits here now this week. President Mubarak, Prime Minister Shamir. We'll have a forthcoming visit from King Hussein, and I'm going to give the same assurances to him I've given to Mubarak and Shamir, and that is that if I personally can be helpful, I want to do it. And in the meantime, why, I will say that I can't say I'm elated, but in the Middle East, a little step sometimes can prove to be fruitful, and I hope that I think the climate is better than it's been in a while, but I would simply say it is not a time where a lot of high visibility missions on the part of the president can accommodate it, can be helpful in the process. But I want to leave you with the view that it is of deep concern to us, particularly the violence in the West Bank, and so and I think both leaders that I've talked to so far know my personal feelings on this, and we're not despairing. In fact, I hope the 2 visits have moved things forward a little bit. Saul?
Do your statements today mean that you won't discuss this Contra affair?
Yeah, it means I've said all I want to say about it. Look, we're having a briefing on Alaska, and with all respect, did I cut you off? Come on, Saul.
Does this mean you won't discuss it until the end of the Ollie North trial?
It means I've said all I want to say about it, because I really believe, on the advice of lawyers, that that's the last thing we ought to do, is even be kicking it around to this end. So please accept it when I said I don't want to talk about it anymore, and I'm not going to. So nice try. No, I just let it stand. Go back and interpret what I said. Yeah.
Do you believe the PLO should have a role in those independent elections in Israel or in West Bank?
I think that the answer is to get on with the elections, and I'd like to. We haven't fully resolved exactly who's going to have a role, but I think that's the matter to be determined between the parties. But I'd leave it right there. I'd leave it right there. The PLO has people living on the West Bank, as you know, and we want to see elections that are free and fair there. Yeah, Dave?
Mr. President, was your statement this week about Israel ending the occupation intended as sort of a diplomatic nudge to Prime Minister Shamir? Should we read something into that?
I wouldn't read anything into it. I do not feel that the provisions of Security Council Resolution 242 and 338 have been fulfilled, and I wanted to be clear to all the parties in the Middle East that that is my view. And I will hold as best the U.S. can, hold the parties to a full implementation of those resolutions. And so what I was signaling is that the territory that has been ceded for peace is not the end. It simply isn't. Yeah, Ellen. And then Tom, and then we'll go here.